Alright, this is Simplify 1918, and right now I'm going to work on cooking some Dover fish. As you can see, this is my chicken fryer. Don't mind the mess in here a little bit. I ended up cooking it yesterday, some fish earlier yesterday, so I got some leftover butter in here with some seasoning, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the fish and add it to the batch in a minute here. But while the butter is working on being warmed up, I'm going to take my slices and put them on the plate. I ended up buying the Dover fish earlier this year. Well, actually last year, and then I put them in the freezer, so they're not 100% thawed out, but that's all right. And then I have these. And then the stuff I'm using is this stuff right here. Cabela's Open Season Spicy Blend, Salmon and Trout Seasoning. It's actually not half bad. This is for my rice cooker. I ended up adding some rice. So I'm going to have some rice and fish. So meanwhile, I got the fish here. I always like using the 3 instead of the big full. Let me just add a little bit of seasoning to it. And I only need to do one side because it's going to get into the pan and into the butter and rotate itself to the other side. Now with the pan, I always like to make sure it's hot. And I always, I know I got bags on the floor. But what I always like to do is I like to make sure the pan is hot enough to the touch. Where you touch this and it starts to get warm a little bit, so about 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure you have the oven on medium, especially if you have an electric stove. As much as I like the electric stove, I also hate it too. So anyways, like I said, see now it's starting to steam up a little bit. Whew, and smoke. It's perfect. So now I'm gonna add the fish. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough while I'm doing it one-handedly. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Okay. Woo. That's what you want to hear. That's exactly what you want to hear. And you put the cover back on. And let it sit for about a good 10 minutes or so. And my dad has always taught me, he said when you cook walleye, especially walleye, or fish for that matter, when you go to press the fork onto the fish, it's supposed to start to fall apart. That's when you know it's done. Not too soon and not too late. In the meantime, I got a mess going on over on the other side, so don't worry about that. That's with the rice. So yeah. The other key element is to keep the cover on for that amount of time. And just to let you know that this pan right here is number 8 chicken fryer, cast iron. Man, do I love this cast iron. I've cooked so much stuff out of it already, including fish. What else? Steaks I've cooked in here, believe it or not. I've even cooked some of my breakfast burrito stuff, which is the egg, steak, mushrooms, and other things of that nature. I got a lot of cast iron. I need to go through it, and I'll probably show you guys later at some point or another. What a mess, what a mess, what a mess. And with cooking, you always want to make sure you have the right size. Otherwise, if you have the wrong size, it's not good. So if you cook it on the small one, that's not good. You want to match the pan with the size. So if you have it too small, it's not going to work. Woo. Alright. Now, time to flip it. Oops. And yeah, it's going to get a little bit of black stuff on it, but that's okay. It's just the seasoning. Ooh. Yeah, she's pretty much done. Ooh. Oh yeah, she's definitely done. See how she fell apart? So when I say falls apart as you pick it up, that means it's done. Yeah, because it's all in cooking today. Turn it off. Let it sit. Now, this fork ain't so bad, but because I use this for the fish, that goes in the sink. And I got my fresh pan here that I cleaned earlier today. And once it's done, whew, yeah, I'll let it go for a moment longer. But once the rice is done, then I can go ahead and add that, and there you go. That's how I do it. Semper Fi, 1918 out.